There's a question that bothers the soul, one that echoes through late-night prayers, church pews, and moments of deep reflection. Why doesn't God just kill Satan, end evil once and for all, and silence this dark presence that stirs up so much pain? Why are the fallen angels, those ancient rebels, still allowed to operate after they rebelled so violently against God? Isn't He all-powerful? Couldn't He destroy them with a single word? Yet the answer is more profound, more challenging, and speaks to the very heart of the spiritual story that runs through all of Scripture, something deeper than many realize. To really wrestle with this, let's imagine the vastness of what God created: the heavens, the earth, every living soul, every spirit being. God formed angels as spiritual beings, unlike humans with their flesh and blood. Angels were born into eternity, their existence woven outside the decaying, dying world of matter. Satan was chief among them, radiant, wise, and powerful, until pride was found in his heart. He wanted to raise his throne above God's. The story is not just ancient poetry. It's the framework of cosmic rebellion that shapes everything we see and endure today. So why not destroy them? Why let Satan live? Here's a reality many overlook. Angels, including Satan and the fallen ones, are spirits. They were not created to die. In the spiritual realm, the laws are not the same as those that govern broken bones and beating hearts. Angels do not age. Their end is not a coffin, and their erasure is not as simple as vaporizing flesh. They exist outside of physical death, outside the natural decay that claims every living thing on earth. When God created the angels, He made them spirits, and their destiny as such is tied to the eternal. But there's more, significantly more. God is perfectly just. He is not arbitrary or capricious, nor does He act out of vengeance or impulse. Destruction never comes before judgment. The most powerful being in existence refuses to condemn before the verdict is given, before every act is laid bare. No being, not even Satan, is exempt from God's process of divine justice. Scripture says that the day of judgment is coming, that all things will be laid bare before heaven and earth. Angels who sinned must face their trial. They do not simply fade away without the world seeing the total truth of who they are, what choices they made, and why those choices matter. There are people who look at the presence of evil, at Satan's ongoing rampage, and the devil's tireless whispering through the ages, and wonder if God has lost control. Maybe some even quietly question if the spiritual battle is a standoff, a struggle between equals. But the Bible is unshakable on one truth: God is sovereign. There are no equals. Even in the story of Job, the devil could not go a hair's breadth past what God allowed. Every test, every moment of suffering, every attack on Job's body was drawn within God's borders. Satan's power is frightful to people, but he moves only by permission. So why not wrap this up? Why not slam the door on this enemy? God's patience is not His weakness. His restraint is not a deficit of power. It is an act of supreme sovereignty. God operates with perfect wisdom, with an end in mind that not even the angels can see fully. The presence of Satan now, the existence of the fallen, is not some oversight or a moment of mercy for the rebellious. It is a part of a story that isn't over, a story in which perfect justice, the unveiling of truth, the redemption of creation will ring out and stand as testimony for eternity. Many believers have wondered, if God already knew who would rebel, why make Satan at all? Why form beings with the capacity to choose evil? There's something that God values more than forced obedience, and that is freely chosen love and worship. True love is only real if it can say no. God placed free will even in the angels. He gave choice to those He created, knowing some would turn away. Free will is dangerous, yes, but it is also the soil in which genuine love, real faith, and the stories of heroes and martyrs are grown. We see it in the world. Evil is real. Temptation is real. The battles of this life are grueling. Yet everything God allows is with purpose. In the end, even Satan's rebellion is woven into a plan so comprehensive, so perfect, that no one but God can see its fullness now. Evil exists in part so that every being, angel and human, might see the utter ugliness of rebellion and the breathtaking beauty of redemption. God will display not just his justice, but his mercy and love for all to see. Not only that, but there's a kind of victory God is after, one that's deeper than destruction. If God simply wiped out Satan and his angels in a thunderclap, some would never understand the depth of their failure or God's extraordinary patience and wisdom. Instead, God's victory is displayed through transformation, redemption, through the turning around of Satan's evil into the triumph of grace. The story of history is not a fair fight. It is a sovereign drama, with God displaying authority, compelling love, and dazzling justice. Even when evil rages, it is bounded, restrained, working, unwittingly, into a tapestry that glorifies God in the end. When Judgment Day finally comes, it will be public, unmistakable, and final. Satan and his fallen angels are awaiting that day. They are not free to roam forever. The sentence is delayed but not denied. There will be a time appointed, a public trial and verdict, witnessed by all creation, earth and heaven, seen and unseen. God's justice will not be hidden, nor his victory ambiguous. Until then, even the devil's work is a backdrop, a dark canvas for the greatness of light. So the answer isn't that God cannot, in some absolute sense, eliminate Satan. It's that he will not, yet. Not until every question is answered, every act judged, and every witness in heaven and on earth has seen the fullness of both justice and love. This is the wisdom of God. Human ideas about instant solutions and quick fixes are not his ways. His ways far surpass ours. He is patient so that the full scope of truth, mercy, and redemption might be revealed for every eye to see and every heart to reckon with. His purposes are mysterious, yes, but nothing is wasted, not even the existence of his greatest enemy. For the believer in America confronted daily with the relentless onslaught of evil, sin in every corner, violence, deception, and suffering, this is not a call to despair. It is a challenge to faith, to understand that even when evil seems rampant, God is not absent. He is not asleep at the wheel. He is not overpowered, nor outsmarted. He is working. Wait for it, trust in it, hold fast to it. God's sovereignty, justice, and love will have the final word. Friends, the cross stands at the center of the story. It is the marker of God's victory, Christ's humiliation of every power, his invitation to every lost soul. Evil is real, but it is defeated at its roots. The day will come when the devil and his fallen companions face the judgment written before the foundations of the world. Until then, walk boldly in the knowledge that God's story is not finished, and that even now, every moment, every trial, every tear has a reason within the mighty plan of redemption. So the next time you wonder why God doesn't simply dispose of Satan and the fallen angels, remember, he is not limited by power but governed by purpose. He is not slow, but patient, not confused but weaving a story of justice that even the angels desire to look into. Hold on to faith. And when that great and terrible day comes, when all is revealed, every tongue will confess and every knee will bow, not just to his power, but to his perfect justice, his wisdom, and his unending love. Be strong, be vigilant, fill your heart with truth and courage, and remember, the end has not yet come, but the victory is already assured. God's justice will not fail, and every power, seen and unseen, will answer to him in the timing that reveals the fullness of his glory to all.